Hare Krišna. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यामुनतीरवनचारी Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jai Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Welcome dear devotees to the morning Srimad Bhagavatam talk. I am very grateful that all of you have kindly come here in the morning. Today we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, third chapter, verse number 5. The title of the chapter is Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Dear devotees, please repeat after me. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Surprisingly, in this verse, we will see something different. We will see some other form of Krishna as being described as the source of all incarnations. So we will try to see what it is and how we can resolve that particular conflict. But before we begin, it is Shishta Parampara, it is the tradition established by the previous great acharyas to perform Mangala Charan, auspicious invocations. There is a term in Sanskrit called Mangal. Mangal means auspiciousness. Many atheists, when they begin their programs, when they begin their talks or lectures, they don't sing any auspicious verses. But even though they don't sing any auspicious verses, the programs of the atheists, the books of the atheists, they attain success in the world. Isn't it correct? Yes. So atheists manage to sell millions of books and their programs are successful on many occasions. But do atheists perform Mangala Charan? No. They don't perform any Mangala Charan. So what is the use of performing Mangala Charan if even without Mangala Charan you can be successful? This question was a difficult one and many atheists used to ask this question in traditional India to many Vaishnavas. Finally, one fine day, an atheist asked this question to one of the most learned Vaishnava scholars of the world, You might have heard his name. His name is Sri Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. He is the personal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And somebody asked him, what is the use of performing Mangalacharan if even without Mangalacharan your programs can attain success? Sri Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya smiled and said, let's take the case of an atheist. Now I will ask you some questions. Please answer in yes or no. Before an atheist starts writing a book, does any atheist think, let my book fail? No. Before beginning a program or a talk, does any atheist think, let my talk fail? So Sri Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya said, even in the heart of the atheist, Mangal or the desire for auspiciousness is present before they begin a book or a program. But the only difference between an atheist and a theist is that the atheist keeps Mangal, the desire for auspiciousness, within the heart, but the theists do some acharan, they act upon it. They sing out their Mangal. Therefore, it is called Mangal Acharan. Mangal is already present in the heart. The desire for auspiciousness is already present in the heart of the atheist as well as the theist. So both the atheist and the theist have Mangal, desire for auspiciousness within their heart. But only the theist performs Mangal Acharan. He does something about it. So since we are theists, we are believers in Bhagavan, we are believers in the Vedas, therefore we perform Mangal Acharan. For some reason the time has stopped on this clock, I don't know. So I think it is an indication that I can continue as much as... Yeah. So I'll follow this clock, all right? So we'll begin Mangalacharan, dear devotees. Many of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayat Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrashabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Mancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1st, Chapter 3, verse number 5. The verse is in front of you. Kindly sing after me. Etannanavataranam Nidhanam bijam avyayam Yasyam shamshena srijyante Devatiryam naradaya. Synonyms. Etat, this form. Nana, multifarious. Avataranam, of the incarnations. Nidhanam, source. Bijam, seed. Avyayam, indestructible. Yasya, whose. Amsha, plenary portion. Amshena, part of the plenary portion. Srajyante, create. Deva, demigods. Tiryak, animals. Nara adaya, human beings and others. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, is the source and indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. Dear devotees, please note, in the translation it is given the second manifestation of the Purusha. Yesterday I had described that there are three Purushas. Does anybody know what are the names of the three Purushas? First is Karanodaka Shai Vishnu. Second is Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. Third is Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu. And here Prabhupada is indicating the second one. So what is the name of the second one? Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. So this second, that is Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, that is the Vishnu who lies down within every individual universe, is the source and indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. So let's see the purport. The Purusha, after creating innumerable universes in the Mahat Tattva, entered in each of them as the second Purusha, Garbhodakashai Vishnu. When he saw that within the universe there was only darkness and space without a resting place, he filled half of the universe with water from his own perspiration and laid himself down on the same water. This water is called Garbhodaka. Then from his navel the stem of the lotus flower sprouted, and on the lotus flower petals the birth of Brahma, or the master engineer of the universal plan, took place. Brahma became the engineer of the universe, and the Lord himself took charge of the maintenance of the universe as Vishnu. Brahma was generated from Rajoguna of Prakriti, or the mode of passion in nature, and Vishnu became the Lord of the mode of goodness. Vishnu, being transcendental to all the modes, is always aloof from materialistic affection. This has already been explained. From Brahma there is Rudra, Shiva, who is in charge of the mode of ignorance or darkness. He destroys the whole creation by the will of the Lord. Therefore, all three, namely Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, are incarnations of the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. From Brahma, the other demigods like Daksha, Marichi, Manu and many others became incarnated to generate living entities within the universe. This Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is glorified in the Vedas in the hymns of Garbhastuti, which begin with the description of the Lord as having thousands of heads, etc. The Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is the Lord of the universe, and although he appears to be lying within the universe, he is always transcendental. This also has already been explained. The Vishnu who is plenary portion of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is the super soul of the universal life, and he is known as the maintainer of the universe or Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. So the three features of the original Purusha are thus understood, and all the incarnations within the universe are emanations from this Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Now dear devotees, this goes against what the translation has said, because the translation said that all incarnations are emanations from which Vishnu? Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So this apparently seems to be some editing issue. Here it should be Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Oh no, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So all the incarnations within the universe are emanations from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. In different millennia, there are different incarnations and there are innumerable, although some of them are very prominent, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Rama, Nrisimha, Vaman and many others. These incarnations are called Leela incarnations. Then there are qualitative incarnations such as Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva or Rudra, who take charge of the different modes of material nature. Lord Vishnu is non-different from the personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is in the marginal position between the personality of Godhead and the living entities or jivas. Brahma is always a jiva tattva. The highest pious living being or the greatest devotee of Lord is empowered with his potency of the Lord for creation, and he is called Brahma. His power is like the power of the sun reflected in valuable stones and jewels. When there is no such living being to take charge of the post of Brahma, the Lord himself becomes a Brahma and takes charge of the post. Lord Shiva is not an ordinary living being. He is the plenary portion of the Lord, but because Lord Shiva is in direct touch with material nature, he is not exactly in the same transcendental position as Lord Vishnu. The difference is like that between milk and yogurt. Yogurt is nothing but milk, and yet it cannot be used in place of milk. The next incarnations are Manus. Within 1 day's duration of the life of Brahma, which is calculated by our solar year as 43 lakh into 1000 years, there are 14 Manus. Therefore, there are 420 Manus in 1 month of Brahma and 5040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma. Brahma lives for 100 years of his age, and therefore there are 5040 into 100 or 5,04,000 Manus in the duration of Brahma's life. There are innumerable universes with one Brahma in each of them, and all of them are created and annihilated during the breathing time of the Purusha. Therefore, one can simply imagine how many millions of Manus there are during one breath of the Purusha. The Manus who are prominent within this universe are as follows. Yajya as Swayambhuva Manu, Vibhu as Svarochish Manu, Satyasen as Uttam Manu, Hari as Tamas Manu, Vaikuntha as Raivat Manu, Ajit as Chakshush Manu, Vaman as Vaivasvat Manu, the present age is under the Vaivasvat Manu, Sarvabhaum as Savarni Manu, Rishab as Daksha Savarni Manu, Vishwaksen as Brahma Savarni Manu, Dharmasetu as Dharma Savarni Manu, Sudhama as Rudra Savarni Manu, Yogeshwar as Deva Savarni Manu, and Brihad Bhanu as Indra Savarni Manu. These are the names of the set of 14 Manus covering 43,000 lakh solar years as described above. Then there are the Yuga Avtaras or the incarnations of the millennia. These yugas are known as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga. The incarnation of each yuga is of a different color. The colors are white, red, black and yellow. In the Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna in black color appeared, and in Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya in yellow color appeared. So all the incarnations of the Lord are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. There is no scope for an impostor to become an incarnation. For an incarnation must be mentioned in the Shastras. An incarnation does not declare himself to be an incarnation of the Lord, but great sages agree by the symptoms mentioned in the revealed scriptures. The features of the incarnation and the particular type of mission which he has to execute are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Okay, this is the final paragraph. Apart from the direct incarnations, there are innumerable empowered incarnations. They are also mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Such incarnations are directly as well as indirectly empowered. When they are directly empowered, they are called incarnations. But when they are indirectly empowered, they are called vibhutis. Directly empowered incarnations are Kumaras, Narad, Prithu, Shesh, Ananta, etc. As far as the vibhutis are concerned, they are very explicitly described in the Bhagavad Gita in the Vibhuti Yoga chapter. And all these different types of incarnations, the fountainhead is the Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripam tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Dear devotees, in this chapter, this particular verse is being discussed today. There are three Vishnus. One is known as Karanodaka Shai Vishnu, the Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu and Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu. These three are known as Paramatma or super souls. Karanodaka Shai Vishnu is the first Purusha. He is the Paramatma of the entire creation. All the various universes. First Vishnu, Karanodaka Shai Vishnu, he is actually also known as Sankarshan. From Sankarshan comes Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, who is second Purusha, and he is known as Pradyumna, and he is Paramatma of Brahma, Paramatma of the individual universe. And from Pradyumna comes Aniruddha, third Purusha, Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu, and he is Paramatma of each atom and living entity. So this is Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. One remains. Which one remains? Vasudeva. So Vasudeva only appears when there is need for restoration of dharma and need for killing adharma. That is when Vasudeva appears. Otherwise, in the material world, these three are permanent. Sankarshan is the first Purush, Pradyumna is the second Purush, Aniruddha is the third Purush. This should be understood by the devotees. Sri Jiva Goswami says, Tatra Sri Bhagavantam Sushtu Spashtikartum. Now, in order to specifically clarify, Bhagavan Garbhodakasthasya dvitiyasya purushasya vyuhasya nanavataritvam vivrinoti. This verse is specifying how Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, who is the second Purusha, second Paramatma, is the source of all incarnations. Etat iti. The verse begins with the term Etan. Brahmandastham ityartha. This Vishnu is situated within the universe. Nidhanam sagaranam samudra iva sadaivashrayah. It is said that this second Vishnu is the source of all the incarnations. Dear devotees, can you name all the incarnations, some of the incarnations that you have heard of in Shastra? Kurma, Matsya, Varaha, okay, Vaman, etc. So, Nidhanam Sagaranam Samudra Iva Sadaiva Ashrayah. Sri Jiva Goswami makes a distinction between Samudra and Sagar. Sagar refers to sea and Samudra refers to ocean. So there is a difference between sea and ocean. There are 7 seas in the world and there are 4 oceans. So what is the difference between sea and ocean? A sea is always connected to a piece of land. But an ocean is usually made out of combination of various seas. That is what you call an ocean. So just as an ocean is the source of all the seas, similarly this Vishnu is the source of all the incarnations. He is like Bija. Bija means seed. Dear devotees, Sridhar Swami says, Bijam but avyayam. Once a seed becomes a tree, does the seed remain as it is or is the seed destroyed? Destroyed. You cannot use the same seed for planting another tree. But this is Bijam avyayam, inexhaustible seed. So the same seed will be useful for bringing about another incarnation in this universe. And yasya amshena srijyante deva tiryang naradaya. From this Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, from his navel, the first person to come out is Brahma, Amsha. And Brahma's Amsha are the sages such as Marichi, Daksha, etc. And they populate the universe. Yasya Amsha Amshena, from his Amsha Brahma and Brahma's Amsha, Daksha, etc. come all the species of life. Kashyap is also one of the sages. And Kashyap populated all the animals, etc. of the universe. So all the species of life have come from the Amsha, from the portion of this Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. Now dear devotees, there is something which does not tally with our understanding here, because if we see the name of the chapter, can somebody repeat what is the name of the chapter? Krishna is the source of all incarnations. But here, who is being specified as the source of all incarnations? Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. So how do we harmonize this contradiction? Is Krishna the source of all incarnations, Prabhu, or Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu the source of all incarnations? Krishna. But the verse doesn't say that. So Krishna or Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu? Krishna. So what is the meaning of the verse when it says that Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu is the source of all incarnations? The meaning is that when the incarnations appear in this universe, they appear through the body of Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. In the spiritual world, the original source of all incarnations is Krishna. But when they appear in the material world, they appear through the body of which Vishnu? Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. Therefore, in the Laghu Bhagavatamritam, Sri Rupa Goswami says actually he should be known as Dwar. Not exactly the source, he is the Dwar. And what is the meaning of Dwar? Gateway. So, Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu is the gateway and Krishna is the source of all the incarnations. This is the difference. In Laghu Bhagavatamritam, Sri Rupa Goswami says, Taccha dwaram tadekatma rupas tad bhakta evacha shesha shayadiko yadvad vasudevadiko picha. There are two main gates or dwaras for all incarnations. One is Sheshashai, Garbhodakashai Vishnu. Through his body, all the incarnations enter into the material world. He is the first gate. And the second gate is devotees such as Vasudev. Because Vasudev is also the gate through which Krishna entered into this world. So there are two gates or two dwaras. One is Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and one is the fathers of Krishna, parents of Krishna such as Devaki, Vasudeva, etc. So all incarnations, for Bhagwan Ram also, Garbhodakashai Vishnu is one gate, because Bhagwan Ram entered into this universe through the body of Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and Dashrath and Kaushalya are the second gate. So that is what you call Dwar. In that sense, Garbhodakashai Vishnu is the source of all incarnations. But in the spiritual world, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Jai. Shri Panchatattva ki Jai. Now, dear devotees, since the topic of Krishna being the source of all incarnations has come up, I would like to ask one query. Can anybody tell me, between Vishnu's form and Krishna's form, which form is accepted by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas as superior? Krishna. Acha. Now I will ask a few questions. Please answer in yes or no. Is Vishnu's form Sat Chit Anand? Yes or no? Is Krishna's form Sat Chit Anand? Then what is the difference between Vishnu's form and Krishna's form? And why do we consider Krishna's form to be superior? His sweetness. Okay. Oh, flute, lila, so many answers are there. Wonderful. But let me give another criteria. When it comes to killing Kshatriyas 21 times, which form comes out as superior? Parshuram. When it comes to speaking always the truth and maintaining Maryada, the codes of religiosity, which form comes out superior? Ram. So why do Gaudiya Vaishnavas say that Krishna is the supreme topmost form? I hope you are able to understand. You change the criteria, some other form will come out as superior. Somebody may say, you Gaudiya Vaishnavas say lila, flute. Who is putting this criteria? Gaudiya Vaishnavas are putting the criteria. So you set the criteria and you decide according to the criteria. What sort of logic is this? So therefore it is important to understand how Krishna's form is superior from a neutral point of view. Sri Rupa Goswami very honestly admits in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu that actually there is no difference between the form of Vishnu and Krishna. This is his verse in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. I will try to point out that verse from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. This is 1-59 of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Please repeat after me. Siddhantatastva bhedepi Shrisha Krishna Swarupayoho Rasenotkrishhyate Krishna Rupamesha Rasasthiti. Siddhantatas. If we see from a Siddhanta point of view, from a conclusion point of view, from a Tattva point of view, Abhedepi, there is Abheda. Does anybody know what is the meaning of Abheda? No difference. Bheda means difference. Abheda means No difference. In actuality, there is no difference between the Swarupa, between the forms of two people. Which two people? Shrisha and Krishna. Shri Isha, the Lord of Lakshmi, is known as Shrisha. And Krishna. So in actuality, there is no difference between the forms of Lakshmipati Vishnu and Shri Krishna. Is very honestly he says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But then Sri Rupa Goswami, you are the one who are going to say that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. On what basis does Krishna turn out to be the supreme personality of Godhead? So then Sri Rupa Goswami says, Rasena utkrishyate Krishna Rupam. But in one aspect, Krishna's form turns out to be supreme. Rasena. In which aspect does Krishna's form turn out to be superior? Rasa. And dear devotees, rasa is something which is neutral to all the jivas, because yesterday we saw there is one thing which every living entity is hankering for. What is that which every living entity is hankering for? Rasa, juice. Not exactly juice, but the happiness within the heart, which flows like a juice and which is variegated. That is what all the living entities are hankering for. So in that neutral criteria of rasa, utkrishyate Krishna Rupam. What turns out to be supreme is the form of Krishna. Now what can I do? Esha rasa sthiti. Rasa is like that. So what can I do? Rupa Goswami is, this is the expression of Rupa Goswami. What can I do? Rasa is situated like this. Esha rasa sthiti. This is the situation of rasa. That according to a neutral point of view named rasa, one personality turned out to be superior. Which personality? Krishna. And from the point of view of Tattva and Siddhanta, both Krishna and Vishnu turned out to be same. Therefore, only and only from the point of view of rasa, because that is the most important point of view for the living entities. What will you do with Siddhanta? Conclusions. You cannot eat conclusions. Dear living entities, you need some consumable in your life. And what is consumable for the living entity? Siddhanta or rasa? Rasa. So for all of us, what will we do after knowing similarity between Vishnu and Krishna? What do you do after knowing that Siddhanta? In Hindi we say, uska achar banayenge kya? Will you make pickle out of it and eat it? No, you cannot do. But rasa is something we can consume. Therefore, living entities should be interested in rasa point of view. And from rasa point of view, one particular form turns out to be the supreme, and that is Krishna. Esha rasa sthiti. This is how rasa is situated. It is not me, Rupa Goswami, who made this arrangement. It is how rasa was naturally situated since beginningless time. So dear devotees, does Bhagavan Vishnu become the friend of any particular living entity? And friend in the sense you can put your arms around Bhagavan Vishnu. Have you seen any living entity put his arms around Bhagavan Vishnu? No. And don't try with Narasimhadev, it is very risky. You might lose your arm in the process, right? But have you seen living entities put their arms around Krishna? Rasayena utkrishyate Krishna. Krishna turns out superior from which point of view? Rasa. Parshuram turns out superior from the point of view of killing Kshatriyas 21 times and driving them out of Aryavarta. But that is not what all living entities are interested in. Some living entities may be thrilled by that. Wow, Parshuram with the axe, He drove away all the Kshatriyas who were not behaving properly. Some living entities may be attracted by that, but not all living entities. Some living entities may be attracted by Bhagwan appearing as lion, half man. But the common factor is rasa. And that personality who arises as supreme from the point of view of rasa is Shri Krishna. Now, dear devotees, let us understand what is rasa. Because it is very important, and if we don't understand what is rasa, then we have missed the point of the superiority of Krishna. We say Krishna is superior because of rasa. Now please tell me, somebody should tell me what is rasa. Can somebody tell me what is rasa? Relationship, but that is sambandha.
Experiencing happiness,
Exchange of love. That is adan pradan. There is a term for that. Whatever English term you will say, I will give you a Sanskrit term. Alright, chalo. Somebody said relationship, sambandha. Somebody said exchange, it is adan pradan. Taste is swad. What? Huh? Mellow. Mellow is, you can say, anubhav. Juice. Chala. So the only English term which comes very close to the Sanskrit term rasa is juice. All others are approximate translations. So what is rasa? I will try to explain today. Please understand, because it is very important to understand. It is the central point of Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. If we don't understand what is rasa, we will not be able to understand Bhakti Rasa. And then we will not be able to understand Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. So rasa is at the crux, at the core of the entire understanding of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Let us today try to understand what is rasa. Dear devotees, in order to understand what is rasa, we should first understand something. We should understand the first term, a technical term, please repeat after me, sthai bhav. So what is sthai bhav? Today I will explain, because on the basis of sthai bhav I will be able to explain what is rasa. Yesterday I was saying one thing, bhakti cannot be produced by the movement of the material senses. Prema cannot be produced by movement of the material senses. This bhakti rasa cannot be produced by the movement of material senses, because bhakti rasa is not a product of the material world. It comes from which world, dear devotees? Spiritual world. When some existing pure devotee, Nitya Siddha, decides to bestow their mercy on the practicing devotee, then they give the gift of sthai bhav. Which bhav, dear devotees? Sthai bhav. So, let's say I am a practicing devotee, sadhak. After practicing for some number of years, I managed to please a very near and dear devotee, eternally perfected devotee of Shri Krishna. By their mercy, I found within my heart there is sthai bhav. The first stage, bhav, is developing. Bhav refers basically to sthai bhav. Sthai means permanent and fixed. Now that it has been gifted to you, it will never be taken away. Therefore, it is known as which bhav, dear devotees? Sthai bhav. So, sthai is that fixed, permanent, underlying mood which has been gifted to you in your heart by an eternally perfected associate of Shri Krishna. If you were following in the footsteps of Mother Yashoda or Nanda Maharaj, the sthai bhav will be of parenthood. If you were following in the footsteps of servants of Krishna such as Madhu Kantha, Snigdha Kantha, Chitrak, Patrak, the sthai bhav you will get is of a servant. If you were following in the footsteps of friends of Krishna such as Sridama, Sudama, the sthai bhav you will get is of the nature of what? Friendship. And if you were following in the footsteps of Sri Rupa Manjari, Lalita, Vishakha, etc., then the sthai bhav you will get is Madhurarati. But this sthai bhav itself is not rasa. Dear devotees, sthai bhav itself is not rasa. It needs to be nourished in order to bring about rasa. Now I will give an example so that it becomes very easy for all of you. Yesterday, I don't know how many of you managed to have it. There was pizza prepared. How many had pizza yesterday? Some few devotees had. Okay. Otherwise, all of you have experience. Okay. So, when you prepare a pizza, you need the main element of the pizza. What is the main element of the pizza? Oregano. If I give you some oregano on your hand, you will call it is pizza. What is called as the base of the pizza? Dough. Wonderful. Why is it called as the base of the pizza? Because it is the basis on which everything else is being supported. It is comparable to the sthai bhav is the base of the rasa. I hope you are able to understand. Just as the bread or the dough is the base of the pizza. But simply if I give you the dough, can you call it pizza? No. It needs to be nourished by various other elements to bring about the flavor and to finally call it pizza. I hope you are able to understand. So, simply because there is an emotion present within your heart gifted by a pure devotee doesn't mean that you will immediately start relishing it. Some other factors are needed. Now, what are the other factors? Dear devotees, first factor, please repeat after me, vibhav. Vibhav is the cause of rasa. For example, you have the dough as the sthai, the fixed, and then you also need the person who will prepare the pizza. I hope you are able to understand. He is the cause of the pizza. If that person is not present, will you have a pizza? No. So that person is the cause of the, you need that vibhav. Okay? First I will explain in pizza analogy, then I will explain in rasa analogy. Okay? So it will become easier. You need that person who is the cause of that rasa. Then you need some effects also. After eating the pizza, wow. I hope you are able to understand. Otherwise you are not tasting rasa. So that anubhav or effect of rasa is also needed. Otherwise we will never know that you actually tasted a pizza. And then you need vyabhichari bhav. So anubhav and satvik bhav are the effects. Vibhav is the cause. Then you need vyabhichari bhav. Vyabhichari bhav is temporary elements which add more flavor to the main base. What are the other temporary things which you may add sometimes, may not add sometimes? Can you give some examples of what is added in a pizza? Oregano. Alright, chalo. Olives. So not all pizzas have olives. Alright, but some pizzas do have olives. Okay? Cheese. Alright? Vegan cheese. Alright. Now finally, you need to bring all these elements together and put them in one place in a fire. And then all the elements fuse together. And then finally you get pizza. And when you are biting upon it, at that time I will ask you, Devadharma Prabhu, are you tasting bread? Are you tasting cheese? Are you tasting oregano? Or are you tasting something which is completely different from all of these? Bolo, what are you tasting? All together? Then I will give you raw bread, raw oregano and raw cheese and you bite upon all of that. What you are tasting is something which contains all of this but which is uniquely different from all of this. I hope you are able to understand. So rasa contains all the elements, vibhav, anubhav, etc. But it is a completely different experience from all of the individual elements. It cannot be described in words. If I ask you what is the taste of pizza, describe in one word. Bolo. Tasty. I am asking you what is taste and you are saying it is tasty. No. In one word, describe how does a pizza taste? Like pizza. You cannot pinpoint, no, it tastes like bread. No. It tastes like cheese. No. Amazing. So this, dear devotees, is what is ras. I hope you are able to understand. Now, this pizza analogy is okay for prasadam. We have to understand in terms of ras. What is bhakti ras? So, bhakti ras is often experienced during natya, drama. If you perform a devotional drama, it is very easy to experience bhakti ras. Shri Rupa Goswami therefore wrote 2 dramas, Lalita Madhav Natakam, Vidagdha Madhav Natakam. Because it is very easy to experience rasas during a dramatic performance, natak. Today we are losing the culture of drama. How many of us have seen drama? Alright. And it is fast being replaced by cinema, movies. There is a difference between drama and cinema. The difference is, in a drama, the seats which are closest to the stage cost the most. And in a movie, the seats which are farthest away from the screen cost the most. You might have noticed. Why this difference? Have you ever wondered? There is a difference. What is the difference, Mukunda Prabhu? Sound. You can have better sound and what is that? If it was only sound, you could have had better speakers everywhere in the drama theatre.
I can see in front of people the acting.
Oh wow, yes. Experience. So the experience is greater when you are in close proximity to the living actor who is acting out the drama. I hope you are able to understand this. Therefore, in a natak, in a drama, the seats which are closest to the stage cost the most. Because in a drama, ras is going to flow on the spot. It is not dead like a movie that somebody recorded it 1 year ago and now it is being replayed. No. So now, dear devotees, let's take the example of a devotional drama. Alright? Think of all of you have gone to a devotional drama where Ram Leela, Bhagwan Ram's pastimes are being described. Think of the scene where Bhagwan Ram has been exiled from his kingdom, but Bharat does not know that Ram has been exiled. Bharat comes back later to know that because of his mother's arrangement, Ram was exiled from the kingdom. Bharat immediately wants to reinstate Ram as the king. So Bharat goes and finds out in the forest where Ram is. Unfortunately, by that time, Dashrath has already left this world. When Ram is going to meet Bharat, Ram is going to see on Bharat's face there is a lot of dejection. He is going to see that the other mothers have also come, but they are not wearing colorful sarees, they are wearing draped in white colored cloth. Bhagwan Ram immediately at that point of time becomes very distraught. And he asks Bharat, is everything okay with our father? At that point of time, Bharat says, unfortunately, our father has left us. At that point of time, Bhagwan Ram starts crying. Dear devotees, some of you are feeling some emotion. Your father has not passed away. Whose father has passed away? Ram's father has passed away. So when you are sitting in the audience, you may see the person next to you. And you may ask him, hey, your father is right beside you. Huh? Why are you crying? Because in their hearts they experience what is known as, please repeat after me, Sahridayata. They become one in heart with one particular actor on the stage. So whatever emotions the actor is experiencing on the stage also start flowing into the hearts of the audience. Thereby you get a direct experience of ras. This is what ras was. I hope you are able to understand. This ras is called Karuna ras. This is one of the bhakti ras, mellow of piteousness. Each and every one of us has the capability to feel piteousness within our heart. Yes or no? Yes. But just because everybody has the capacity to feel piteousness, does it mean that we are right now feeling it? No. It has to be nourished. So piteousness is there in the heart as sthayi bhav. As which bhav, dear devotees? Sthayi bhav. Then you need the vibhav, you need the cause. Bhagwan Ram is the cause. Bharat is the cause of bringing it out. Then you add a few more ingredients on the top. Father has passed away. I hope you are able to understand. And when the situation puts together all these factors, and then Ram is also crying out, Anubhav, effects are there. So because all these factors were put together, and because you were one in heart with the actor who was playing the role of whom? Ram. Therefore you start a copy of that rasa also started flowing in your heart. This, dear devotees, is what you call rasa. Okay? So this is the official definition of rasa in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Please repeat after me. Vibhavairανubhavaischa Sattvikairyabhicharibi Svadyatvam hridi bhaktanam Anita shravanadibhi Esha Krishna rati sthai Bhavo bhakti raso bhaved. Dear devotees, Rupa Goswami says, please see here, Sthayi bhavo bhakti raso bhavet. Actually, sthayi bhav becomes what? Bhakti rasa. So the main component of rasa is which bhav, dear devotees? Sthayi bhav. It's comparable to the base of the pizza. I'm giving an example of pizza because that is most applicable in this part of the world. When I learnt in India, the acharyas, previous acharyas give the example of sabji. Potato sabji. What is the main ingredient of a potato sabji? Potatoes. Sthayi bhav. Alright, okay. So, previous acharya's example I am giving. I am not giving any other example. Because when you eat, you experience rasa. And in a natak, in a drama also experience rasa. But this rasa is the rasa of tongue. That rasa is the rasa of heart. Both are rasas. Therefore, the examples used are similar. So, the base of pizza, sthayi bhavo, it turns into bhakti rasa. It turns into what? Bhakti rasa. But it alone cannot turn into bhakti rasa. It needs help of other components. Vibhavair, it needs vibhava. The causes. Causes were Ram and Bharat. Who were the causes? Ram and Bharat. Anubhavaischa. And there should also be some effects. Ram was crying, Bharat was crying. When you see both of them crying, sthai bhav is nourished. Satvikair. And sometimes there are some changes in the body, such as standing of hair on end, etc. Vyabhicharibhi, and some temporary emotions are also added. For example, Dashrath passed away. The mothers are dressed in white sari. I hope you are able to understand. So all of these temporary emotions are added. Swadhyatvam, then it becomes flavored. What becomes flavored? Which bhav becomes flavored? Sthai bhav. Where does it become flavored? Hridi, in the heart. In whose heart? Bhaktanam, in the heart of the devotees. Anita, it becomes flavored Shravanadibi, when they hear, when they see, etc. Sometimes by hearing also you experience rasa. Sometimes by seeing you experience rasa. But by seeing a natak, a drama, it is very easy. By hearing, like yesterday we were hearing Padyavali, it is difficult. The speaker has to draw the scene in front of you. I hope you are able to understand. But by seeing a drama, it's very easy because the actors are playing it out live on the screen. Then Esha Krishna Rati. So this emotion for Krishna, which is also known as Sthai Bhav, it becomes which rasa, dear devotees? Bhakti rasa. So Sthai Bhav is basically the predominant emotion which is potentially present within you. But it has to be nourished by various factors. When you hear Krishna Lila, when you see Krishna Lila on stage, various factors come together and start churning that Sthai Bhav. And then it turns into Bhakti Ras. And that is the entire concept of Bhakti Ras, dear devotees. And from this Bhakti Ras point of view, one form of God stands out as the topmost. Who stands out as the topmost? Krishna. I hope you are able to understand. So this is what it is. Okay? Thank you very much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. So we have time for questions. Yes.
So we all have Sthai Bhav.
We all have.
All living
In the material world, there are material bhavas. They are described by Bharat Muni in Natya Shastra. So, in the material world, there are many material emotions. In the material world, there are many material emotions. And the sthai bhav of all those emotions is present in the heart of all the conditioned living entities. Let me give you an example of some of them that Bharat Muni has described in Natya Shastra. Hasya, the capability to laugh and smile. It is present as a potentially, it is present in the heart of all the living entities. But just because it is potentially present, does it mean that we are laughing right now? No. It has to be bought out, nourished. So somebody cracks a joke. All right, let me crack a joke. All right, one time there was a devotee who encouraged many devotees on Haridas Thakur's disappearance day. That Haridas Thakur used to chant how many rounds, dear devotees? 192 rounds. So today is Haridas Thakur's disappearance day. Today all of us will chant how many rounds? 192 rounds. So he pushed all the devotees. This was in 2004. I was in Mumbai. So I received the email. 192 rounds challenge on Haridas Thakur's disappearance day. So I knew that I could not do 192, So I was clearly out of the entire competition. And there were prizes declared for one who chants 128, one who chants 192, one who chants 64. One who chants 64 will get a bead bag. So I said, I am happy with the bead bag, that's all. So I went and I chanted 64 rounds on that day. And after the 64th round, I came back home and my mind was saying, tomorrow I don't want to chant anymore. So, 1 week later, that devotee who had organized that 192 rounds challenge, he was complaining in his office. We had an office in the temple, he was complaining. He said, those devotees who came that day, since 1 week I am not seeing them in the temple. So at that time I told him, see, you had organized 192 rounds chanting challenge on Haridas Thakur's disappearance day. So all of them perfectly followed Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur disappeared, they also disappeared. So dear devotees, Hasya is present as a Sthai Bhav. It's a material emotion which is present in the hearts of all living entities. But when you nourish it by storytelling, by drama, then it is brought out and it turns into rasa, and then you start experiencing anubhav, people start laughing. So that is the complete experience of rasa, is when you nourish all of these. So there are material emotions in the material world which are brought out in the material dramas. But then there are bhakti rasas, 5 prominent ones: Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. These have to be gifted to a living entity. One of them has to be gifted to a living entity. When it is gifted by an eternally perfected associate of Krishna, or when it is gifted by Krishna himself, then you start experiencing those emotions in relationship with Krishna. Therefore, Rupa Goswami says, Krishna Rati. Actually, these are emotions in relationship with whom? Krishna. So those emotions we don't experience spontaneously right now. Somebody has to bring them out. Then we experience a slight tinge of that. But if we are gifted with that, let's say a day arises when we find in our heart some spontaneous attachment towards Krishna developing. That is Krishna Rati. And you nourish it by hearing Krishna Lila, by chanting Krishna Nam. There is a potential to transform that Sthai Bhav into Ras. And once it gets transformed into Ras, you have attained the purpose of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. That is why the literature was written. The literature was not written just to give definitions of Bhakti. What will you do with definitions? Achar banenge? Will you make pickle out of it? No. Finally, you need Rasa. So that is the main crux of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. This verse is the defining verse of Bhakti Rasa. We say mellow or whatever, but Rasa is a technical term. Vibhavair anubhavaischa satvikair vyabhichari swadhyatvam hridi bhaktanam anita shravanadibhi esha Krishna rati sthai bhavo bhakti raso bhavet. This is actually Bhakti Ras. So that is what it is. I hope that clarifies.
Thank you. And what is the relationship between Swabhav and Sthai-bhav?
Swabhav is a Sanskrit term for one's innate nature from previous lives. Swabhav means somebody is angry in general, somebody is an angry person. Why? Because previous lives they have cultivated anger. Some people are jolly people, they like to crack jokes all the time. Previous lives, that is their Swabhav. And Sthai Bhav is a predominant emotion in relation to Krishna, especially in Bhakti, in relation to Krishna. That cannot come from previous lives. Unless you have cultivated it in previous lives, that usually doesn't come from previous lives. It is gifted in a specific life by an eternal associate of Krishna.
So can I say Swabhav is more active and Sthai-bhav needed to be activated?
Your Swabhav is in relation to the material world. Sthai Bhav is also material world, it is also in relation to the spiritual world. But Sthai Bhav, they are suppressed, they are potentially present within the heart. They are not always actively present. Swabhav is what you actively, as you said, you actively bring it out. You know, in your day-to-day life, some person may be humorous. It's Swabhav. Because they are capable of nourishing hasya, the emotion of laughter or humor, very nicely. So Swabhav has some relation with Sthai Bhav. The Swabhav is the material nature of a person and how a particular person nourishes their material emotions within the heart. But Sthai Bhav in this literature, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, refers to the Bhakti Rasas, which are not products of material nature, which are gifted from the spiritual world. ठीक है?
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Who else? Yes, Prabhuji, then we'll come to you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the lecture. Very clear, everything. So now I can understand better the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu when Srila Rupa Goswami described the 64 qualities of Krishna and those 4 that are only in Krishna himself.
Right.
So that all of these qualities are related with rasa.
Right. Because why describe qualities of Krishna? What is the need for Sri Rupa Goswami to describe qualities of Krishna? Sri Rupa Goswami knows that most individuals have no direct experience of Shri Krishna. They have never seen Krishna, they have never heard Krishna, they have never talked to Krishna. And because it is important to induce a feeling of Krishna, therefore it is important to give his qualities. And therefore Sri Rupa Goswami gives 64 prominent qualities, although there are unlimited qualities. 64 prominent qualities are given. Besides that, there are 18 faults also. Not only qualities, but there are 18 faults in relationship with Krishna that are mentioned.
But there are also qualities.
Other qualities, yes. For example, laziness. In the material world, is it a fault or a quality? Fault. But when it is seen in Krishna, it turns into a quality. Because we want our Bhagavan not too perfect. I hope you are able to understand. Like Narayan or Vishnu. We want our Bhagavan to lie sometimes, to steal sometimes, so that is the Bhagavan we want. So our Bhagavan also needs to have certain transcendental faults. I don't like adding that word every time, but there is no better way of putting it. Our Bhagavan also has some faults which are not products of material nature. So that is the reason for describing Krishna's qualities as well as Krishna's faults in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That is Rupa Goswami, because unless you describe Krishna's faults, it is not possible to have that sweetness in relationship with him. How many of us want to fall in love with a God who is all perfect, never makes a mistake, never speaks a lie, never blinks his eyes? Raise your hand. Note his name. he wants to go to Vaikuntha. And how many of us want to fall in love with a God who makes mistakes, purposely lies, fake cries from time to time? Please raise your hands. Oh wow. So all of you had come here searching for perfection but ended up falling in love with an imperfect God. So that is... Huh? He makes him more perfect than perfect. That is what it is. The faults make him more perfect than perfect. That is why we love Krishna. Rasayen utkrishyate Krishna. Krishna turns out superior because of rasa. What should I do? Esha rasa sthiti. This is how rasa is. Krishna is faulty because rasa is nourished in the presence of Shri Krishna. Chalo, thik. I hope that answers your query. Yes. All right. So we'll come to Sundar Gopal Prabhu. Yeah. Let's give him the mic.
I asked this few persons, but I couldn't get answers. Also in Lagu Bhagavatamrita, I didn't understand quite. Is this first Chatur Mukhya Vasudev, is this Dvaraka Vasudev, or is this some other incarnation?
The first Chaturvyuha is in relationship with Dwaraka.
So it's him then?
Ha. That Krishna who goes out of Vrindavan, that four-handed who showed himself to Devaki and Vasudev. Vasudevasya apatyam Vasudev. Vasudev's son is known as Vasudev. So that Vasudev is Dwaraka. From then comes the Vaikuntha set of Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudev, Sankarshan. And from there, in the material world, three of them stand out. Which three stand out? The three of them who stand out are Sankarshan, who becomes Karanodakashay Vishnu, Pradyumna, who becomes Garbhodakashay Vishnu, Aniruddha, who becomes Kshirodakashay Vishnu. What about Vasudev? He only comes when killing of demons is needed. That is when he comes.
When Krishna comes.
Not only when Krishna, any other form where killing of demons, restoration of dharma is needed, you should see that Vasudev aspect is there in that particular form. So not only Krishna, that second in Vaikuntha, Vasudev, what is the function of that Vasudev? That function also is that to protect dharma, to protect the devotees, to nourish the devotees, and in the material world to destroy adharma. So in any incarnation of Bhagavan, such as Narasimha, etc., when they kill demons and protect the devotees, you should see that the aspect of the second Vasudev is in action.
But you said that they come from Pradyumna, but they are like Vasudev that emanates from...
It is Vasudev who comes through the body, therefore Dwar, gate. There is a difference between source and gate. For example, somebody just entered into the gate. Do we say he took birth from the gate? Or he entered through the gate? What do we say? Entered through the gate. In one way, the gate is the source of the person to enter in here. But in that way, Pradyumna is the source of Vasudeva. But in actuality, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. That is what it is.
Also in spiritual world, you said that Krishna is source, but we often hear that all incarnations, that Balaram emanates from Krishna, and then all incarnations from... So Balaram is also like gates then.
See, that is called Sakshat and Parampara. Sakshat and Parampara, let me say this. For example, Narad Muni, Krishna is the guru of Brahma, Brahma is the guru of Narad Muni is the guru of Sri Vyasadeva. Now here only one guru and one disciple. But from Vyasadeva there were so many disciples created, so many that today Vyasadeva is known as Jagat Guru. Guru Purnima is actually the appearance of whom? Sri Vyasadeva. So somebody may say Vyas is the source of all the gurus. Vyas is Jagat Guru. But then some people say Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Krishna is actually Jagat Guru. Because Krishna is also the source of Sri Vyasadeva. Similarly, if you see Krishna, from Sri Balaram is the first manifestation of Krishna. And from Balaram, other manifestations come about. So
also first Chatur Vyuha, also from Balaram?
Yeah.
So Vasudeva, Dwaraka Vasudeva comes from Balaram.
Yeah. And then from them, all the other forms come about. But if you see, from immediate point of view, Balaram may appear. From the ultimate point of view, Krishna is the original candle who illuminated all the other candles. So that is what it is. We call Sakshat and Parampara. Just as Vyasadeva appears to be immediately the Jagat Guru. Immediate Jagat Guru is Vyasadeva. Ultimate Jagat Guru is Shri Krishna. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. So that is what it is. Okay? Alright. Who else? Oh, one here. Let's give to Mataji. Here, acha. Okay. No, you ask Prabhuji. After you.
Thank you I'm sorry, Mataji. Thank you for nice lecture. I wanted to ask. You were mentioning this Sthai Bhava as a basis for Bhakti Rasana, as when it under the influence of Vibhava as a cause, as an immediate reason.
Anubhav, yeah.
Anubhav, but you were also mentioning that within all of us is, without actually being bestowed upon us this Sthai Bhava, without this already there is in all the conditioned souls capacity for different material emotions like
Right.
laughter or different aspects. So my question is, what is the connection between this material capacity and the differentiation of Sthai Bhava, which also have the same capacities, laughter in connection to Krishna, laughter in connection to material situations. So what is the connection here? If it's,
All right. So what is the connection between the sthai bhavas which are present in the material world and the sthai bhavas which are present in the spiritual world in connection with Shri Krishna? The difference between any entity in the material world and any entity in the spiritual world is that any entity in the material world undergoes 6 transformations. It takes birth, it stays for some time, it increases, it transforms, it dwindles away, and it is destroyed. These are the 6 changes of the material world. In the material world, for example, if I fall in love with somebody, so I experience what is known as Shringar Ras, which is the material equivalent of Madhurya Ras. Initially, the ras begins, then it increases, it stays like that for some time. Then we get married, and as you know, marriage is the end of all love. Huh? No. But we were thinking that after marriage our love will increase. It increases little bit, but then it hits a plateau, and then from there it is and then one fine day comes when one of the partner either passes away or there is some separation because of some discomfort in the relationship, and that is how the ras ends. Then find another partner, either in this life or the next life. That is now not how it works with Shri Krishna. With Shri Krishna, when you get a sthai bhav, now that sthai bhav is really going to be sthai. It is going to be forever. But we can't imagine relationship with a person forever. Our mind will say, no. I don't want my relationship with Krishna to be forever because it will get boring after some time. We need that newness in the relationship. And that newness is ensured constantly by Yogamaya. It is not ensured by Mahamaya. Mahamaya makes relationships stale. So when you wake up in the morning 10 years after marriage, you have to look at the face of the same person. Oh no, I made a mistake. Some people feel like that. Not everybody, all right? Some people feel like that. But in relationship with Krishna, it is the flavor is constantly new. And this is specified in the Srimad Bhagavatam, because no speaking something without giving pramana. 10:44-14. Gopyas tapah kimacharan yadamushya rupam lavanya saramasamorthvam ananya siddham drigbhi pibantyanusavabhinavam durapam ekanta dhama yashasah shriya aishwarasya. Shukdev Goswami is saying, what austerities must the gopis have performed? With their eyes they always drink rasa of Krishna's form, which is the essence of loveliness and it's not to be equaled or surpassed. That form is the only abode of beauty, perfect. When you look at him, you feel, I'm looking at him for the first time. I've looked at him previously, but it feels like I'm looking at him for the first time. So that is the difference between bhakti ras in relationship with Krishna and emotions in relationship with the material world. So this is what is the difference. I hope.
Thank you. Very nice. Prabhuji, can I have just one quick
Sure.
question?
But then we have to come to
Yeah.
her.
But because I will not get a chance because I'm not going to Pohorya, but it's a pressing question.
Yeah.
So please, and you
Sure.
are a scholar, so I wanted to ask, you were mentioning it about the criteria, about neutral criteria, but now, for example, assessing Krishna against whatever potential alternatives or competitors means assessing in accordance to some criteria. But then again, all the criteria are ultimately set by the one who is assessed against the criteria by Krishna.
Sure.
So that's a paradox, and an atheist might say, where can I find a criteria which is, neutral? So how to solve this paradox?
Fair enough. Therefore, the criteria which Rupa Goswami selected was not Leela, Venu. Because Venu is not present with Ram. Is Venu present with Lord Ram? No. So then Lord Ram will say, I couldn't even enter the competition and the gold medal was given to Krishna. You have to select. To a killing Kshatriyas 21 times, Krishna said, I didn't even get the chance to enter the competition. So one neutral, and which is the point of interest of all the living entities. Now you tell me, which is that neutral point of view. Somebody may say, holding up dharma. All living entities are not interested in dharma. Krishna should be attractive even to the adharmis, those who don't believe in dharma. Isn't it so? Yes. Then he will be all attractive. What is the meaning of all attractive? Only attractive to the pious people or also attractive to the impious people? Isn't it? So any criteria you select, it will not be all applicable to all the living entities. So Rupa Goswami has selected a criteria which is all applicable to all the living entities, because all living entities have the potential to experience rasa. Okay. Thank you. So one last query by Mataji, then we will pause for today.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I think everybody is relishing your perfect lectures. So I would like to ask, because you speak with so much knowledge about bhakti and all these topics, and you also said in your lectures, there is one sentence you say, when you look at Krishna, then with all this, what you have, your mind blows. So please, can you tell the importance of those things which you're now telling us, so that